Hey everybody, April here and welcome back to my DIY home series, and in this video I'm going to show you how I made my very own queen size tufted bed. So to get the project started, you're going to have to go to your local fabric store, and the fabric store that I like to go to is Joann Fabrics, and you're going to have to go there to get your fabric, your batting, and your foam. And you're also going to have to go to Home Depot or Lowe's. I like Home Depot, and you're going to have to get all of the wood that you need to make your bed. And I'm making a queen size bed, so I'll leave all of the measurements and the cut lists and stuff like that for this bed in the description box. But Home Depot does cut wood for free, so make sure that you go there prepared with all of your measurements and stuff, and they will hook you up with all of your wood. Alright, so here are all of my cut pieces that I need for my bed. So to start this project off, we're going to first take a 2x9, which is one of the side rails, and we're going to take some foam and cut off any of the extra pieces with an electric knife. And here is my best friend Chelsea, who is going to be helping me for the next 3 days put this bed together. So like I said, I'm just using an electric knife. I did see some people use some scissors to cut the foam, but I can't even begin to imagine how time consuming that is. So I definitely recommend that you guys pick up an electric knife for this project. So now I'm going to take some spray adhesive and spray the entire 2x9 and place my foam on the board. And you just want to apply some pressure to make sure that the foam sticks. Now I'm just going to take the other 2x9, which is the other side rail, spray the adhesive on, and lay down my foam. Alright, so now we're going to cut some batting. And you can get that from the fabric store. And we're just going to lay the side rail onto the batting and begin to staple the batting to the back of the wood. And here I'm just using a heavy duty staple gun, but you can just use a regular hand staple gun as well. And when you're stapling your batting, you want to make sure that you're pulling it taut. And here I'm just showing you what the side rail looks like after I've stapled the batting on both sides. Okay, so now it's time for the fabric, and I highly recommend that you iron out your fabric beforehand just to get out any wrinkles. And we're just going to lay the side rails onto the fabric and do the same thing. You're just going to staple your fabric to the back of the wood. And when you're stapling, you want to make sure that you're pulling the fabric as tight as you can. And here I'm just showing you what I'm doing for the corners. You want to make sure that you have very nice pleat, because it is possible that once you put your bed together, the end rails may show. So this is what we have so far. This is our first rail, our side rail, and as you can see, it's very smooth, no wrinkles in the fabric, and it has great cushion because of the foam and the batting. So you just want to go ahead and repeat those same steps for your other side rail and your end rail, which is the 3x9. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and start working on the headboard. And what you want to do is mark where you want your buttons to go. So that's what I did, and here I'm just drilling the holes where I want my buttons placed. Okay, so after you've drilled your holes, you want to go ahead and place your foam on top and get rid of any of the extra foam. And I am going to have a Nailhead Trim border, so that's why you see some of the plywood exposed and all of the foam is not covering it. And now I'm going to start working on my buttons. Now you can actually go ahead and get buttons made, but I decided to get a button kit from Joann Fabrics and make my own buttons. So that's what I'm doing here. So with the headboard, you want to do the same exact things that you did to the side rails and the end rail, and you just want to go ahead and spray on some spray adhesive and lay your foam down. So now I'm taking an upholstery needle, and what I'm doing here is just laying under the plywood and sticking the upholstery needle through the hole that I drilled through the board, and I'm sticking the needle up through the foam, and Chelsea is marking where I want my buttons on the foam. if that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. And what you see there is the markings of where I want my buttons. So now you just want to take a knife or some scissors or whatever tool that may help you with this step, but you just want to cut out the foam for where you're going to place your buttons. So now we're just going to lay out our batting and place the headboard onto the batting, and we're going to do the same thing, just staple the batting to the back of the headboard. Okay, so I told you guys that I am going to have a Nailhead Trim border. So what I'm doing now is stapling the batting onto the foam to make that border for me. And along that line is where I'm going to have my Nailhead Trim, and you will see the border actually start to appear as I'm stapling. So now it's time for the buttons, and what I'm going to be using is wax button thread. So what I'm doing is just sticking the needle through the fabric, the batting, the foam, and the wood, and pulling the thread all the way through. Okay, so here's the back of the headboard, and that is the thread that I just stuck through. And what I'm going to do is staple the thread in a zigzag pattern so that the thread does not move and the buttons stay secure. And before you begin stapling, you want to make sure that you pull the thread very tightly so that the tufting can create on its own. So now that we have our buttons in place, this is what the front of the headboard is looking like so far. So now we're just going to go ahead and continue to do what we did to the side rails and end rail, and that is just pulling the fabric taut and stapling it to the back of the headboard. So this is what the back of the headboard is looking like. You can see all of the staples from the thread of the buttons, and this is the front so far. Alright, so now I'm going to apply my Nailhead Trim, and I got this from Joann Fabrics also, but I've also seen this at Walmart. So with the Nailhead Trim, all you do is place the nail into every 5th hole, I believe, and you hammer it in with a mallet, rubber mallet. I do have my rubber mallet covered with a plastic bag because when I didn't, it was marking up my fabric, so that's why I had that bag on there. And when you're hammering your Nailhead Trim, you want to use a rubber mallet because a regular hammer will damage and scratch up your Nailhead Trim. And after you've applied your Nailhead Trim, you're all done. We're all done with the headboard, and we're done with the side and the end rails, and now it's time to put the bed together. So I did have Chelsea's husband put the bed together for me because he did have all of the proper tools and the powerful drill and all that good stuff. So first we're going to take our 2x2 and attach it to the side rail. And just an FYI, you will need to pre-drill your holes because we are working with pretty thick wood. So after you've pre-drilled your holes, then you can go back in and screw in the nails. Alright, and to attach the side rails and the end rails together, we are going to be using 2 different types of corner braces. And I will leave that information in the description box. So you just want to go ahead and drill those corner braces to the side rails and then drill the side rails together. So now we're going to use these heavy duty top plates and screw them into the corner of the rails, and we're using these plates to attach the furniture feet. So I did get my furniture feet from Home Depot, and I did stain it with an ebony color, but for some reason I lost that footage. So I'm sorry about that, but all you do is screw the furniture feet into the top plate. And now we're going to take the 3x1s and screw those into the 2x2s. And these don't have to be screwed in. You could just simply lay them on the 2x2. But for extra support and security, I just wanted them screwed in. And this is what your box spring and mattress is going to lay on. So now we're going to attach the 2x4s to the back of the headboard for some support. And as you can see, he's just measuring to make sure that they are equally spread apart. And we did place the 2x4s 12 inches from the ground. And you just want to go ahead and screw those in, and you're also going to have to pre-drill those holes as well. And now it's just time to attach the headboard to the rails, and it fits perfectly. And here he's just screwing the bottom of the 2x4s to the back end rail. And here I just wanted to show you guys that the corner of the back end rail will need some fabric because it is going to be shown, but you don't have to add any foam or batting or anything like that. Just cover a little portion of that back end rail so the bare wood is not shown. And that is it, you guys. We made this bed from scratch. I absolutely love how this turned out. It took us 3 days to complete, but nonetheless, you know, we got through it. It wasn't difficult at all. It's just very time consuming. So don't shy away from big projects like this. I say go for it. Just take your time and it'll come out the way that you want. This is definitely a project that you will need help with. So get your best friend, get your spouse, your husband, your wife, or whatever, and get to building a bed. And don't forget to check the description box for any information that you may need. And I hope you enjoyed this video. I really enjoyed making this bed, and I just wanted to show you guys how it came out and the process of making this bed. And that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and share with anyone that may find it helpful. And I will see you all in my next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.